Good evening, everybody. How's your week been going? Let's see who we got in the chat. We got Heather Landstrom right off the bat, and there's Adventure Await. That's Chris, my buddy, and we have Hippie Chicks Homestead. That's new to me. Welcome in. There's Tony, Our Cabin in the Woods, and Old Man King Homestead. Reverend Dream. There's Jennifer Ocean Homestead, and Lori's Prepping for Heaven. Did she change that? Wasn't it just Prepping for Heaven? And we got Leanne Gunther and Joe Jacobson. Angie, as in Our Cabin in the Woods. And Teresa Junkowitz. So, what's been going on this week? More post people. I don't know if you saw my short this yesterday. We're just pounding post every single day. Well, not every single day. We didn't do it today because we kind of got, our Papa was tired from the work we did yesterday, and I worked on some YouTube creating and stuff. So hopefully we'll get some videos out before too long. It's been kind of slow here. I actually haven't worked on any content stuff in quite some time now. Is that Musgrave Family Farm? That's new to me. Welcome in. And Petite Jean River Homestead. It's Bobby. So this is an open mic, so you're welcome to come up and join us, Andale. You can even wear your jammies on the live, and nobody's gonna cry. You see, some of us are coming out of the fields and do our lives, so you can wear your jammies. There's Debbie Dratch. Good evening. And Joe, fix it for you. For me? I wish somebody would come up here and fix this stuff. Yeah. So, our tractor is working pretty good now that we've fixed the problem. When we are pounding post, we're pounding pretty good. We got a good rhythm going now. And the rows are heavy. I don't know. It's weird. We had a frost and we lost a lot of the count of the bunches, but the bunches are bigger than they ever have been before. So they're kind of balancing out to some degree. Not that much. It's still a problem, but man, they're gorgeous bunches. I meant to pick one and bring it up here because the Fredonia variety is already purple. Concord's running about 2 weeks behind. There's MT Homestead with all their green hearts. Good evening, and thank you for passing everybody over to me. There's Gillum Farms. Hey, hey, hey. We got so like I said, I was working on my tray that I'd been working on, but I took a 3-week hiatus. Things have been, I don't know if they've been crazy, but certain things are going on. There's wooden things and stuff. No pressure, but if you want to come up and talk, go right ahead. Be a good night for it. And let's see. So yeah, I guess I have to admit I was kind of went through a bummed period, but I think I'm snapping out of it. We all do. We all have our moments, and I would say this last month has been kind of, I don't know what hit me. Didn't seem like I had any problems, but just felt a little under it. Who did I just see and wanted to ask something? Oh. Yeah, so what else? What else do I gotta say before somebody comes up here and in the green room? There's Tim Mason. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. And there's Puroki. Was that a what? Was that a support sticker? What was that? Let me see. $2. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I don't usually get stickers and stuff, but that's okay. Nobody has to do that. But thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let's get that out of the way. Damn, Gunther. So I know that Gillum Farms, along with Lazy Days Ahead and 9 Acre Family Farm and Not for Nothing Homestead, and I don't know if there's others. They went on a vacation this week that looked pretty awesome. I have to catch up on what that was all about. Or he can come in here and tell us about it if he wants. It's up to him. Let's see what someone said here. Somebody. Where is it? Scroll in. Oh, that's all the way to the top. Everybody say hi to Chris. Adventure awaits. He says hi a couple of times in the beginning, and then he stays quiet. There's Rebel at Heart, Kelly, and Wanda Henry. Oh, I can't find it. You have a new. Yep. I have a new pet cricket. Actually, he was in. If you go back to last week's live and the week before, a cricket. I don't know if it's the same one. Probably the same one. But I always get a cricket somewhere along the front part of the barn, and they're harder than heck to find. But I wasn't even noticing it until you said something. Now it's going to drive me nuts. As long as they're not in my house when I'm trying to sleep. Although there have been some times where a cricket will actually put me to sleep. Troy Sutton, good evening. How you doing? And Arlene is in here. Thank you for coming in. So that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of getting out of my stupor is because we had a deadline of putting some applications in the grapes, and we got through most of it yesterday, and now we can kind of just do our work without having to worry about deadlines. So that's nice. Let's Trade Paint is in here. Just as long as we get all our posts up before the harvester comes through, because there's nothing like being run over by a harvester while you're trying to pound post ahead of it. Our Louisiana Life. That's another new one to me. Thank you for coming in. NT Homestead. I'm so happy you're finally getting your surgery. And I have heard good things about that. I've known people who have had hip surgery and knee surgery. And I honestly can say that I haven't heard any of them say it was bad. One of them had double knee surgery at the same time, and he was so happy a couple of months later. He felt so much better. You could tell the way he walked and stuff. So there's good hope there, and I'll be praying for you. Papa will be having a procedure. I forgot what they call that. It's where they take the scope and they go up through your vein, through your either your leg or your arm to your heart to make sure that you don't have any blockage. And if he does, they will more than likely put stents in, right then and there. If it's worse than that, which I'm pretty comfortable in saying it probably isn't, then he should be good. Then he'll be out there pounding posts like nobody's business. Old Pecan Homestead. Good evening and welcome in. That was part of what was bumming me. The doctor told us one thing, and then we went in for his consultation, and they told us another thing. And fortunately, the consultation sounded much better than what the doctor was telling us. That scared me. So, hubby had that done a few years ago. Yeah? Hey there, Johnny.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Man, that was quick. Usually you're like, are you ready?
You caught me right on the cusp of saying something. So you're good. If I had been in the middle of something, I try to push it as good as I can,
Yeah.
Not that I don't want you coming in, so make sure you do. But
hey, Debbie.
I made it 15 minutes again without anybody.
Well, glad to see you, Brian. Sure. Glad to see everybody out there in the chat too.
Yeah,
awesome crew out there.
You've been on hiatus.
Yeah, we were on hiatus. That's right. We kind of got called out, double dog dared by Jesse at Lazy Days Ahead to meet up with them in Georgia at near Not For Nothing Homestead. We weren't at Not For Nothing Homestead, but near it. And we went there and we stayed in a VRBO. It was very, very nice.
VRBO.
Yeah.
How is that different from a Airbnb?
I have no idea. All I know is it's called a VRBO. Somebody in the chat can tell us what it is, but it was all log home, all wood. Had stuff. Had a big mounted bear and an elk and different things inside of it. It was us and Jesse and Lisa and Ginger and Joey and Megan and Niecy that were there. So, and I
bet it didn't have as many animal mounts as your house does.
No, it didn't have as many animal mounts as we have here, but it was nice. And then on Saturday, the last Saturday while we were there, we met up with Piggy Piddles and Aline, Welcome to My Kitchen, Doc Roper, Derek Fowler, and Regina. And let's see here. I know Ralph at Webb's Web, Tim and Dana Mason. I don't want to miss anybody, but let's see here. I think that might have been it. I'm not sure. And anyway, it was a lot of fun. And from the cabin there, we just kept seeing bears. Every time you turn around, there was a bear outside. So that was pretty interesting.
Dave from Ohio is here.
Troy, we went by their house and everything, and you know, they are off grid, so they don't run. I think they run the air conditioner a short period of time a day. Um, so, but the weather was actually really nice in Georgia. It was. It was much nicer than it was here. Let's just put it that way. So, but we did get to see the Not for Nothing homestead, and it was very nice. So
There's
we
Todd
enjoyed that.
Laginus.
Huh?
Todd
Yeah.
Laginus.
Hey, Todd. And so I don't think it was they'll let y'all stay at their house. I think it was more of a, we all pitched in on this VRBO thing, and then we had 4,000 some odd square feet. It was really nice. Everybody had a big bed. It was great. So, and we slept till we got ready and got up, had breakfast. Jesse and Lisa made like pounds of bacon every morning. Pounds of bacon. Oh, it was awesome. We had a taco bar. We had Johnny's Pizza from over there. We had Biggins Barbecue. We had Taco Mac. Anybody ever heard of a Taco Mac? I'd never heard of a Taco Mac until I got over there.
Sounds descriptive. It sounds.
You think it's a Mexican place, but it's not. Taco Mac is not a Mexican place. It's kind of like if I had to describe it, I would say it's just like a Buffalo Wild Wings. So, anyway, had a good time though. We were there for, we got there Monday afternoon and we were there till Monday morning. So we were there for a full week. About a 12-hour drive. And we fished.
12 hours? That's nothing.
And Christine caught the most and the biggest. So she caught 2 perch. Vacation rental by owner, says Debbie Drop. So vacation rental by owner. And that person was really cool because we were supposed to leave on Sunday and we go, hey, can we stay an extra day? So we just texted him and he said, yeah, sure. No problem. So yeah, we did everything right. That's right. We did. It was awesome. We couldn't have stayed at a hotel for as cheap as we stayed at that VRBO. Whenever you divide it out, we couldn't have stayed in a hotel room that long for that kind of money.
No, we stayed in an Airbnb when we went to Mid-America meetup.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know, it's just cheaper in the long run.
Hey, Kentucky Bluegrass Living. Good to see you.
I really love the Airbnb we had when we went to Florida. Oh, we each had our own. I had my own room and bathroom.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the way we were. We had our own room and bathroom. They had it set up right. It was nice. So, but an interesting thing about that house, as beautiful as that house was, we were talking to the neighbor across the road from it. Okay. It seems like every time you go out in the morning or late evening, there's going to be a neighbor right outside and they're going to be waving at you and wanting to talk to you. So we went out there and I was talking to this lady and she said that back during COVID that they had some squatters in there in that house and they couldn't get them out. They had some people that got in there and they could not evict them. So they trashed it basically. And so these people, after they finally got them out, after they said COVID was kind of over. They were in there for like years, and so they got them out, and then these people bought it and they remodeled and fixed it all back up and stuff, and got it back livable, I guess you'd call it. But that's a shame that they had something so beautiful and somebody just come in there and trashed it. So
That's a different circumstances with the COVID thing. They really had a hard time with that, but they're still doing that. They're still having issues with squatters, or probably have for a long time. But just because they're squatting in there doesn't mean you can't go in there. And take all the freaking food out of there. They have to leave to go get food, and then you lock the door.
Well, problem is not all of them leave, and somebody just stays there, and you can't
go hungry.
Yeah, it's been a problem for years. I mean, it's like, I probably wouldn't do good. I mean, we had another house besides this one right here before COVID. We sold it, but if somebody had came in there and squatted in our house, I might be in jail, because I guarantee they'd be out of it. I don't care if I had to doze it with them in it. They would be out of there.
Well, if you're allowed to protect yourself in your house, go in your house and protect yourself.
Right. But we sold that one, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. And I think that's the reason why these people that had all these rentals, and stuff like that, they had mobile homes. I've seen a lot of people get rid of their mobile homes. They get rid of like they have a trailer park. They get rid of all the trailers in the trailer park, and then they just set up each individual spot as a place to park campers. And then they rent those spots for the same amount of money that they used to get for the whole mobile and the spot. And they don't have to deal with anybody tearing their stuff up or anything like that. It's their own campers. And if things, get bad, they just have a wrecker come in and pull them out of there, So anyway, right on, Johnny, says Tony. Homeowners don't have rights anymore. That's right. It is sad. But I'll tell you what, we ate so good. I lost 30 pounds, right? Before we went, I've lost 30 pounds. While we were there,
I was going to say, you're looking pretty skinny.
While we were there, I gained 8 pounds back.
Oh, you didn't.
I couldn't, man, there was just too much. Every time I turned around, Megan and Niecy were going to the store and coming back with like apple fritters and fried pies and just cakes and all kinds of stuff. It was crazy.
And you told yourself that you can have it while you're on your vacation.
I said, while I'm on vacation, no diet.
Now you come back, and then all those carbs will really play tricks on your mind. One more day isn't going to hurt. And the next thing you know, you got a box of donuts on your belly and recliner chair.
Oh yeah, that's true. But yeah, today I thought I was going to be good today, but I went to an auction today. I went to a cattle auction today over in Stillwell, and there's an excellent barbecue place over there called it's called Okie Joe's in Stillwell. Man, I had to have some of that. And the thing is they have sides, but none of their sides are carb friendly. They don't have like green beans and stuff like that on their sides. They have like potato salad, baked beans, and all that stuff's good. So anyway, yes, Linda, they are for that. And see, that's the thing. I'm on this diet, and I'm going to stay. I'm going to kind of keep rolling this diet. And then when we go on our cruise next year, because we're going on a cruise next year.
Oh, no. There's the other 10 pounds.
Yeah. Crumbled German chocolate cookie was amazing. That's right, Joe. Joe, fix it for you.
I don't know. The cruises will even put more. Those are really, I haven't been on one, but I've seen people come back from them. They're like 20 pounds heavier.
Yes, that's and Tony says that is where the money is at. Get the mobile homes out and move in campers, and those are the big thing right now. You know, we thought about it. It's crazy. We could have even moving our mobile out that we had over there. We renting, and we rented it, you know, a couple of times. We could have rented the spot without the house at all there for the same money. So, hey, Bobby, there's Bobby, and there's Old Pecan Homestead. I know you said pecan, but I think they're Old Pecan. And you're right, Dakota. You are right. But man, it was so good. So, Bobby, at Pettit Jean, I'm hoping I'll see you at Centerville in September. And I'm hoping, you know, I've talked to Drew, and I'm hoping I can get Drew to pop in there too at some point. So, because I'm going to go over there, I'm going to take the car, barring anything happening at Kansas, I'm going to take the car to Centerville that the 28th. They're having a 78. They're having a geezer race. You got to be 55 or older, or have a car that's 78 and older. To me, 78's new. So, hey, Ginger, how are you doing? So, Ginger, you know, those ladies were just fixing up the most awesome stuff to eat.
Just got home.
Yeah.
At 9:30.
Yeah, she and it's 10:30 there.
Oh, that's right. She's in my time zone.
Right. It's 10:30 there. So hey, Tim Mason. Yep. And we got to see Tim and Dana. And yeah, we got to hang out with them. That was a blast. Yeah, and Ginger is tired. If you guys didn't know, she's kind of doing a little bit of she's employed again. So she took on a job.
Congratulations.
And but I'm gonna have to, you know, that whole time I never got any iced coffee, y'all. I never got any.
I've been talking about iced coffee for a month now and haven't gotten myself any. I remember you used to drink it when I was younger.
Yeah. Yeah, I never got any. I mean, I don't know how I missed out, because there was iced coffee every time we turned around somewhere, but I didn't happen to have any in front of me for whatever reason. But those bears were cool. We had a little male bear called, his name was Bubba. We got informed by the neighbor across the road. It was Bubba Bear. And then we had a sow, big old sow that had 3 cubs. And
so who looked after your cattle?
well, the cattle were pretty much on their own, and I put them on the last grass we had. Is what I did. I put them on the last grass we had. I put a ram bale of hay in there with them, and drove away. But Sunday is the last time I saw them, and that's the day we started driving to Georgia. So when I got back, they were fine. They tore up their round bale feeder.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, but they were fine. And so then the chickens and the pigs were the main thing, you know, to make sure that we had people taking care of them, because it was 100, I think it was 103 degrees, like 3 or 4 days while we were gone. And our daughter came out here, and she took care of them. And every day she worked from here. She worked from home, or She works from home anyway. She just came out here and logged in here and did all her work from here and stayed. How much rain did we get? Here at the house, we got about a ½ inch. And out where the cows are, we got 1.5 inches. Yeah. And let's see here.
So if a cow jumps a fence, what happens while you're gone? Is there some? Well,
Well,
your brother.
Here's what would happen. Everybody out there has my phone number. They would call me, and then I would call my brother, and I would say, "Hey, we got a cow out there," and he would go take care of it. So, but there was, I think it was the last. We came back on Monday, and on Sunday I did call him, or I texted him and I said, "Can you kind of walk over there and just kind of count and see how many cows are in there?" And he went over there and checked on it, because if they get out there, we know everybody around there, and somebody's going to call me. They will. So, but nothing got out, so everything was good. Yep, and the grass should be growing good. Yep, if we can keep them off of it long enough, it will. So.
Making It Home is in here.
Hey, making a home. There's Lauren and Joel. And
Beverly Moffett.
Hey, Beverly. So, yeah, sure makes you nervous when you leave your farm for any amount of time. That's right, Dakota. I was mainly concerned about the chickens, the heat, and the pigs in the heat. And I built a big chicken feeder before I left. And I filled that thing up, and our daughter did not have to feed the chickens one time while we were gone. She didn't have to water them either, because I built that last auction I went to. I bought some big plastic barrels that they actually had originally had. I think what do you call it? What's that when you grow stuff? Grow stuff in water. What do they call that?
Hydroponics.
Hydroponics. They had hydroponics fertilizer stuff in them, and I bought them. They were 15 gallons each, and I bought 10 of them, and I built a chicken waterer out of one of them, and that was enough to water those chickens for the whole week. And then the pigs, they have a 55-gallon waterer that I built for them that's got nipples on it, and they were good too. But
Hiking with Jackie Boys in here. Good evening.
Hey, Kevin.
Do you have you guys been getting any rain in your region?
Here?
Yeah.
We got a rain. We got 1.5 inches of rain out there where the cattle are, and a ½ inch right here at the house while we were gone. I think it was like Saturday or something is when we got it.
Do you try to keep the mud wet for the pigs and stuff so they can wallow in it? Or is that just the fantasy?
The daughter, she went out there we've got a hose that runs out there, and she just went out there and just made them I told her every day, just make them a mud spot out there, and that's what she did. I mean, she was here all day, so it was pretty cool. So, yep. So we're now our next thing that we got coming up is that race in Arkansas City, Kansas, and that's going to be September, and it's going to be the 13th, 14th. And I am sure hoping that we get some better weather than we've been getting, because I think it was cool. They said it was like cool over the weekend, I guess, here in Oklahoma. But man, ever since I've been back, it's just been blistering hot. And it was blistering hot when we left. So, and I know it was blistering hot most of the time while we were gone.
Fortunately, for the rest of the next month or so, we're going to be staying around 80 or less. So that's good.
Wow.
For the work that we need to do.
I think I looked at our thing, and I think we're like over 100, like 5 or 6 days over the next 9 or something like that.
We've been running a lot of mid 80s degrees in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Makes a, when we were in Georgia, you know, I'm telling you, the weather was nice there. It was really nice. I mean, we got to sit outside a lot.
I don't know. I think it's what you're used to also to some degree, because, you know, if we get 90 degrees, we're not going outside. Forget it. You guys can, but our humidity levels are different.
I tell you what, we went to Ohio to a drag race one year, and we took the car, and we had people just, the people from up there in Ohio, right? It was 80, I think it was like 85 degrees is what it got up to while we were there. And the people there, they were dying. I mean, dying at 85 degrees.
That is hot for us up here.
And we got there and we're like, wow, this is nice. This is great. Oh, I love it, you know, and everything. We're, you know, I'm suiting up. I've got a whole big old black suit I wear whenever I'm racing, pulling on the helmet and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, this isn't bad at all. And those guys were just passing that. They were laying underneath stuff and everything else. And they said, this is hot. And I said, no, this is hot. And I pulled up what it was at home. It was 107 at the house. And I said, no, this is hot right here. What we got going on here is AC.
Yeah, somebody else in the green room here. Hey there.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, you're not. What was that last time you were?
I was gonna ask you if it was gonna be like burbly or whatever.
Gurgly. Is that what I was calling you?
Yeah, something like that.
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Pretty decent. It's getting, things seem to be lightening up around here.
Yeah.
At least to some degree.
Yeah.
So,
you're going through a little enthusiasm slump.
Patch.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people are, though.
Hmm.
I know it's not just me. Except for Johnny, who just went on vacation for a week.
No lack of enthusiasm here. I'm in good shape.
He wasn't slumping.
I'm in good shape, guys.
No, I think everybody's entitled to go through little like ups and downs, and you know, I go through that a lot out here in the shop in terms of like, you know, just losing enthusiasm and just not really feeling like it, and especially like it's one thing when it's, you know, you're losing enthusiasm for something that's like you're living, but when you're losing enthusiasm for stuff that's just like hobby or like, you know, stuff you do for fun and you don't really need to do it. So it's easier for you to talk yourself out of doing it. And yeah.
Unfortunately, when you go through a slump and you're a YouTuber, you kind of pay for it. I'm paying for it. Believe me, my numbers are paying for it.
No.
But I get back on it. So, what do you got going on?
I'm trying to keep up with all the comments on this recent video. That like I put out a video about some emotional struggles and things, and it went off the rails in terms of like the level of support that I'm getting from people and just like the reach that it's getting. And I'm trying to like, I just can't keep up. At this point, there's over 1,000 comments on this video. There's like 45,000 views, and it's outstanding, but it's like it's becoming stressful that like I can't go 6 hours without going to the computer to respond to comments, because otherwise I'll be sitting there for an hour responding to comments. And so yeah.
Well, when you start talking about something, I mean, I don't know how much you want to say here. You're welcome to say anything you want, but I understand. When you finally get to the point where you want to admit it to yourself and you want to do something about it, then you know it's probably getting to where it's time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like, it's one of those situations where it's like you struggle with things. I think part of the reason it's getting such good traction with people is that we've been conditioned to pretend like everything's okay. Like men, especially, I think, have been conditioned to just like suck it up and be tough and whatever. But it's starting to break that sort of stigma a little bit in terms of like talking about things and opening up and like having feelings, and that kind of thing. So I think it's resonating with people, and my relationship with alcohol has been a long-standing situation that has been in and out of my life a few times, and just I've never been comfortable with overall my overall relationship with alcohol. And then when I got so drunk that I fell and smashed my face all by myself for no reason at all.
You did that all by yourself?
Yeah, I was all by myself. I was drinking by myself. And just like hanging out, drinking by myself, watching YouTube videos, and just like stumbled in my yard and smashed my face. Like, so it was time. It was time to say, you know what, this is not how you should be living your life.
Well, and the reason why people are responding to the way they are is because even if it's not alcohol, it's something else. Everybody has something that's weighing on them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't have some issue that they're dealing with.
Yeah, and we all deal with these things.
Johnny's sitting here, I'm perfect.
Yeah. Well, we when we have issues, we all deal with them in our own ways, and some of those ways are not necessarily positive. And so just the ability to talk about that, the fact of that, that not everything is awesome all the time, and it's okay to not be okay.
Johnny's not normal.
No, he's still.
I actually don't really have any things weighing on me either, but I do have slumps.
Yeah.
I get into the slump pretty good. And it's usually physical. It's not like I'm mentally like anguishing over something, but I'll get really like, I just don't want to do anything. I get physically depressed.
Yeah. Everybody's on their own journey, and nobody knows what anybody else is really going through. And like, that's part of being human. The world would be really terrible if everybody was on the same journey, You
should go on Tish's show if you were interested in telling that story. Just a suggestion.
Well, I mean, I that's one of the most frequent comments that I'm getting on that video is like, it's like super brave, or like you're so courageous, and so it's like, it doesn't really feel that way. It's just a thing that I needed to say. Like, it's not. But yeah, I guess, I mean, and a lot of people are getting something out of it, and they're feeling something from it. So that's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of part of your story. I mean, you do your lives every week, and we see that you're having beer, and you're telling the story as to maybe it's not working for you.
Yeah. And then we're like I said, we're all on our own journey, and I'm gonna take a different trail for a little bit, and see where that trail goes on this journey.
So how did you feel about your live and not drinking anything on it?
It was really uncomfortable. It was really weird. I kept feeling like why I'd be getting up and saying beer and going and getting a new beer, and I wasn't doing it. Like there was a muscle memory that kept wanting to kick in that wasn't kicking in, and it was weird.
Yeah.
But I think going forward for the live, we're going to focus on like sort of single topic things, as opposed to like the long rambling shows that can go wherever. I'm going to try to nail it down and just do like single topic. Tonight we're going to talk about the bandsaw, or tonight we're going to talk about the table saw, or tonight we're going to talk about milling, or tonight we're going to talk about sharpening, or whatever. Sort of keep it as focused as we can.
I really want to go work with a lathe before I actually buy one. but
You should. You should
I
find
don't know anybody that has.
there's somebody. You're in New York, right?
Oh, well, Troy does. Troy probably. I don't know if he does yet, but he probably will by the time I see him next.
How far are you from a Rockler?
That's at least an hour and a half.
Okay, so my understanding is that Rockler frequently does, like on a weekend, on a Saturday or something, they'll do like an introduction to wood turning, like come make a pen type classes, and like in their stores. So the same way that Lee Valley does up here. And I imagine it would be a similar class to the class that I do at the studio here in Campbell River. That's an introduction to wood turning, make a pen. And it just gives you the fundamentals of the tool and the physics behind what's happening, and lets you get comfortable and figure out if this is something that you want to get into.
Yeah. So Laguna, at least the one I'm looking at, is $1,000 roughly.
Yep.
And how you have one of those, right?
I do have that exactly.
How happy are you with that?
It's probably the best tool purchase I've ever made.
Really?
Yeah. It's
is that an American made?
My understanding is that
Designed.
it's an American it's not American manufactured. It's possibly like it's American designed and American assembled, maybe. So like they bring all the parts in and then they assemble them, I believe, in Texas. I don't know exactly, but it's not the cheap Chinese garbage that a lot of companies just like, they all come out of the same factory and with a different paint job type lathes. Like it is its own thing that is.
Does it have like the lever that controls the variable speed, or is it more of a dial?
It's a dial. Yeah. So there's three belt gears, and then within each of those gears, it's fully adjustable. So the lowest gear, you'll go from like 50 RPM up to 600, and the middle one is like 600 to 2000, and the top one is like 800 to 3000 kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know of any lathes brands or companies that are strictly American? Oh, that's right. You're not American.
I don't, but I know One Way is an entirely Canadian designed, manufactured lathe. I don't know of any. Oh, Robust, I think, is a completely American. But I mean, the Robust's lowest end lathe is probably in the neighborhood of $6,000 or $7,000.
I think it's like three.
Three?
At least that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
Or was that Robust, or was that the Henry? Even the Henry. Oh, yeah, it was the Robust.
Robust, I think, is the only that I know of. It's the only entirely manufactured American brand. We have One Way in Canada. Australia, I believe, has Vicmark. And then pretty much everything else is Asian in some capacity.
Would you suggest getting a MIDI lathe before getting a full size?
Yeah.
I don't think that a mini lathe would.
Well, it depends on the company's definition too. Like Rycon's technically the one that I got for the shop. The Rycon version is essentially the same as my Laguna without the variable speed and a few other things. But in terms of the size, it's exactly the same as my Laguna. And they call it a mini lathe, even though it should probably be called a MIDI lathe.
Is that Rycon? Okay. Have you ever worked with a Rycon that was variable speed, or just? No. And so, how happy are you with the one that's not variable speed?
I wish it was variable speed, but only because I'm used to having variable speed. Like because I got the Rycon after I got the Laguna. The variable speed and having reverse is really nice, and just the little bit of quality control, sort of fit and finish of the machine, I think is better on the Laguna. I have a comparison video of these two lathes.
Yeah, I did watch that. But I didn't get to ask the questions directly to you.
I mean, It's perfectly good. Yeah, if you can talk yourself into spending $1,000, the Laguna is it could be the last lathe you ever buy.
I think that's my budget. I think that's a good budget.
Yeah, and I believe right now until maybe the end of next weekend or this weekend, they do 10% off sales. Laguna does 10% off, like sort of pop-up sales.
Yeah.
And I believe they're in one right now.
So what do I do? Just go to laguna.com?
Go to laguna.com or go to whoever your local Laguna retailer is. Rockler sounds like.
We don't have anything good around here.
I mean, go the hour and a half to Rockler then. Like,
I have to get it off of Amazon. Oh, Rockler would have it?
should.
But that's a small little shop. I'll check that out. Who knows? Since I did that, they might have gotten one in Erie.
Well, if you go to laguna.com or whatever Laguna's website is, Laguna Tools probably, they'll have like find a dealer button somewhere on there. I don't think you can order directly from Laguna, but you can like go to their find a dealer page.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe even Lowe's or Home Depot.
Oh,
No. It's that hoity-toity, huh?
Well, it's not hoity-toity. It's that the companies who have tool deals, or like the companies who have relationships with Lowe's and Home Depot and those places like that. Maybe it's different down there, but ours, there's only certain numbers of companies that, like, the Home Depot won't bring on any competing companies that have similar types of, other than like the handheld power tools and stuff. Like, Home Depot has Rigid as their like in-house brand of certain tools. And if there's something that Rigid makes that another company makes that's going to compete with Rigid, they're not going to do that. And I think Lowe's in Canada, that's what Delta does. Like, you can't buy a table saw from Lowe's that would compete with the Delta table saw that's in that range of things, but maybe it's different down there.
What is that other brand? It's either Hardy, or
Harvey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that one?
I don't. I probably won't. I have feelings about Harvey. I don't know all of the facts, but I've heard enough and I've read enough about Harvey, the company, to not really be interested in giving them any of my money.
What about good old Grizzly?
Grizzly, I mean, my understanding of Grizzly is that when you get a good Grizzly tool, you're going to be happy. But because there are quality control issues which lower the price, your chances of getting a good Grizzly tool is about 72%. So it's like, you're going to pay less for the tool, but if you get a good one, you're going to be happy. But if you get a bad one, you might be sending it back twice.
Well, as long as it's not 3 times.
No, it might just be once. It might be never. You might get a good one, but because they do have everything's all manufactured in China and the quality control isn't exactly there, which is how they keep their price down. But the tools themselves are good if you get a good one.
Now the Laguna, I'm sure there's several different levels of Laguna, even within those certain ranges, right?
Laguna, I believe, has 4 different size lathes, maybe 5. So they've got the 1216 that you're looking at and that I have. And then they have an 1836, a 24, 1836, a 24. So their models are based on the sizes and the capacity of them. And so they only have one lathe that's in the sort of MIDI range, which is the 1216.
And that's the one you have.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That probably sound and that is slightly larger than what most companies consider a MIDI.
It's in the standard range. I would say anything 12 so 1216 means it has a 12-inch capacity over the bed, so you could turn a 12-inch bowl, and the 16 means you can turn something 16 inches long. You can get a bed extension. I have a bed extension for mine that adds another 10 inches, so essentially mine is a 1226. And anything from sort of a 12 to 14, maybe 10 to 14 overbed capacity would probably, to me, be considered a midi lathe. And then a mini would be like an 8-inch throw, which means that you can't turn anything bigger than 8 inches on it. So
You're talking 8-inch radius or diameter?
Diameter.
Okay.
So a 12-inch, the 1216 will turn a 12-inch wide bowl diameter. So
I can't imagine me needing to do anything more than a 12-inch.
nobody needs more than a 12. Everybody, even the people who need a bigger than 12-inch bowl, only need one, and it's for salad. Like, get somebody else to make that one for you. You're fine.
That's when I go to Troy's house.
Oh, and the other thing about the Laguna, I don't want to sound like a Laguna ad, but the 1216 also has outboard turning capacity. So if you get the 10-inch bed extension, you can mount it to the outboard side of the lathe, and it actually gives you a 16-inch bowl capacity.
You mean you can invert it the other way?
You put the bed extension, instead of putting it on the end of the lathe bed, you move it around to the end of the headstock, and then you can turn on the outboard side of the headstock, and it gives you another 2 inches of capacity.
What, Johnny?
10 o'clock.
Oh. Well, stay there for a second, and I'll close this out. So thank you, everybody, for coming into the chat, and my moderators. Thank you.
Sorry for making the last 20 minutes about lathes.
Well, I'm not sorry, because that's what I wanted to hear about.
I was apologizing to all of the people who don't care about lathes.
Well, you can't be on a homestead without having to make stuff.
Mhm.
So thank you, Johnny and Mike. I don't know what, as many mics as we have in our community. And I stumbled on it. Sorry about that. Well, thank you, everybody. Next week, Wednesday, 9 o'clock Central. Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Don't forget Homestead Hangout tomorrow, 5 o'clock. And
yes,
I'm going to be in the field with the cows tomorrow evening. So check it out.
all right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.